What a great baseball night in Atlanta last night. And this evening, a big crowd gathering at Turner Field for Game 2 of our 4-game set between the Braves and the defending world champion San Francisco Giants. All year long, Braves baseball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, The Right Stuff, and The Low Price. Wow, what a ball game last night, partner. Arguably the best win of the season for the Braves, 5-4 the final score.
They had to pull it out of the fire, certainly in the ninth inning, Chip, and there were great at-bats up and down that whole inning, starting with Jose Constanza bouncing one yet again off the plate. Eric Hinsky worked a great at-bat, drawing a walk to put runners at first and second. Julio Lugo ran for him. And then Martin Prado, after a good bunt by Michael Bourne, he plates the first run. Lugo had to stop because he wasn't sure the ball was going to get through. They pitch around Brian McCann, strike out Ugla, and then Freddie Freeman comes through in the clutch. And you know what? Maybe there was a little angel sitting on the shoulder of the Braves last night, and our pal Ernie Johnson might have had something to do with that, because you know what? He never did like beards a whole lot.
But he loves saying it on this winning night.
Yes,
and the Braves got to say that in Game 1 of the series, and we'd love to say the same thing after Game 2 tonight. Randall Delgado, the youngster, is coming up to pitch Game 2 of the series. We'll talk about his first big league start and what he's been up to down in the minor leagues as we get you set for the Braves and the Giants coming right up. Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T, by Delta Airlines, and by KFC. Beautiful baseball night in Atlanta, getting us set for the Braves and the San Francisco Giants here at Turner Field. And partly the Braves knocked San Francisco 5 games back now in the wild card, and the Braves have an awful lot of pitching depth throughout their system. Some of that will be on display tonight.
We've been hearing about it all summer long, Chip, and we did get to see Randall Delgado earlier this summer in a start against the Texas Rangers when the Braves needed some help. He came up, pitched into the 5th inning, didn't get an out in the 5th inning, gave up 4 runs, only 3 were earned, But the thing that I noticed about him, in addition to a good arm, was his presence. He was not overwhelmed by his surroundings, especially against that good hitting Texas team. Struck out a couple of guys, and he's got a good arm. He was 7-5 overall combined between AA and AAA, and in his 2 starts in AAA, 2 good starts, he did not give up a run, so maybe he'll carry that on into tonight in the big leagues.
And he's taking on a Giants ball club that's really decimated by injuries, but that's their problem. The Braves hope to beat them 2 in a row tonight. Delgado for the Braves, Jonathan Sanchez for the Giants. Let's see if the Braves bats can boom early, often, and late again as we get you set here at Turner Field. Limpy. In part by Blimpie, by the Home Depot, by SunTrust, and by Hyundai. Welcome back to Atlanta. A beautiful night for baseball. The Braves and the Giants, game 2 of the series. The Braves take the field behind starter Randall Delgado, and here's the Giants Suzuki starting lineup he will face tonight. And it is a much different looking Giants lineup because of injury. Pablo Sandoval's moved around to first base. You've got Aubrey Huff in left. Brandon Belt's getting a start. I mean, Joe, you can make a case that who's not playing for the Giants tonight is as important as who is.
You could almost make an all-star team out of the guys that are on the DL are not available to play tonight. And that's okay for Randall Delgado. He's 21 years old. That's right, just 21. He is 6'3", 200 pounds, out of Panama. Rated as the number 3 prospect in the Braves system prior to the start of this season. Those are his numbers combined between AA and AAA, and real close to a strikeout per innings pitched, as you can see there. And that start against Texas on June 17th, 4 innings, 7 hits. He gave up 4 runs, 3 were earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. His fastball, 91 to 95. He's got a good slider, good changeup, and again, one of the top 4 guys that you've heard so much about all summer long. Well, guess what? 3 of them are here. Minor, Randall Delgado, who's pitching tonight, and Vizcaino in the bullpen. The guy who's not here yet, Julio Teheran, is rated as the number 1 prospect.
And you hear that knocking?
Yes. He's on approach too.
Yes. And here's the defense behind Randall and Randall in tonight's ball game. You've got Prado, Bourne, and Constanza again in the Atlanta outfield. Good to see Chipper Jones back in at third base. Last night's hero Freddie Freeman at first. Brian McCann back in harness with the signals behind the plate. Sam Holbrook's got the balls and strikes. Paul Schreiber, Paul Nauert, and the Cowboy Joe West on the bases for game 2. Cody Ross, the Giants center fielder, leads things off. .87 degrees at first pitch. Not much of a breeze, but a low humidity night tonight at the ballpark. And Cody Ross with 9 homers, 37 RBIs. Now an even count. And a little pop to short. And Cody Ross is an easy first out.
That hurt. That hurt a lot. 94 in on his hands, busted him inside, probably hurt his right thumb especially.
They can ill afford to have anybody else go down in this game.
Really dinged up club.
As Mike Fontenot bats. Giants placed Carlos Beltran and Sergio Romo on the disabled list before tonight's ball game. And look at this list of guys that, as Joe said, are all-star worthy that are hurt.
Those are all the guys that are on the disabled list. We know they're not going to play, but Bruce Bochy doesn't have a lot of wiggle room tonight if he needs some extra men. Jeff Keppinger got hurt last night on his collision with Freddie Freeman at first and injured a wrist. He had to have an MRI on that tonight. You also have Nate Schierholtz, who hit a ball off his foot. He homered last night, but hit a ball off his foot late in the game and proclaimed himself unavailable today, at least to start. Aaron Rowan is active, but he's got an oblique issue. And Mark DeRosa still battling that wrist injury, even though he's active.
Slow roller. Easy play for Delgado. And quickly 2 outs. So really for the Giants, maybe their only healthy guy off the bench is their backup catcher, Eli Whiteside, tonight.
Yeah, they are really shorthanded. They called up to help out in the bullpen. They called up a left-hander, Dan Runsler, to take Romo's place in the bullpen. And Miguel Tejada was activated from the DL, but he's in the lineup.
So let's see if the Braves can take advantage of that. Here's Pablo Sandoval. And he hits the first pitch he sees on the night into right center field. And Delgado has a very easy 9-pitch first inning. But the first, now the Braves line up this way for skipper Freddie Gonzalez. Bourne, Prado, McCann, Dan Uggla, last night's hero Freddie Freeman, Chipper Jones hitting 6th. More on that a little later. And of course, Delgado pitching and batting 9th.
And on the mound for the Giants, Jonathan Sanchez, 28 years old, 6 feet, 198 pounds, out of Puerto Rico. 4-7 with an ugly ERA for him and a lot of walks. He led the league in walks last year. 65 of them this year in 98 innings. And he is going through a real rough patch.
1 ball, 1 strike to leadoff man Michael Bourne.
Michael was out early along with Jose Constanza, and they were working on their bunting, a drag bunting, push bunting off a pitching machine that was putting a little heat on it.
Boy, that threat of speed really has wreaked havoc on Braves opponents in the last couple of weeks, ever since Constanza came up and the Braves got Bourne from Houston. And it showed in the 9th inning last night, too.
Paid off.
And there's the first walk of the night for Sanchez.
All right, so this guy, his last 4 starts, 2 before the All-Star, or 2 before the DL, and 2 after. 18 1/3 total innings pitched. 15 walks in those 18 innings. He's gone 0-3 in those 4 starts with a 7.85 ERA. Braves have got to make sure they get a good pitch to hit off of him. There are times where he can turn it around and be dazzling, like he was in Game 3 of the Division Series last year. We struck out 11 Braves in 7 innings. But he will walk the ballpark if you give him a chance.
Kind of ironic when you think of those numbers for Sanchez. He's got a no-hitter. He's got a lot of strikeouts. As a youngster, they called him Randy Johnson as a kid pitcher because he threw so hard but was so very wild, much like Randy was in his early days in Seattle. Runner goes, pitch a ball, the throw to second, a strike, and Bourne is caught trying to steal second.
What a throw by Chris Stewart. Not a big lead, but went on his first move, and Chris Stewart lasered one down there.
So Bourne thrown out trying to steal for just the 9th time this year. And that erases the bases for the Braves, and Prado now hits with a 1-2 count. Popped up. Fontenot drifting out. Belt drifts in from right, and Martinez out number 2.
Brandon Belt has an interesting nickname just within the Giants organization and their broadcasters. They call him the baby giraffe.
Huh.
They said if you've ever seen like a baby giraffe born who's trying to figure out how to get up on his legs and walk around, that's what they call Brandon Belt, the baby giraffe. A little bit awkward.
Here's Brian McCann. Belt holding fourth in the Giants outfield. Cody Ross in center. Aubrey Huff is in left. Joe mentioned Miguel Tejada just back off the disabled list. That's a veteran left side of the infield, to put it kindly. So much mobility Pablo Sandoval has with a sore foot over at first for San Francisco. Fontenot at second. And that retires the Braves in the first. Scoreless game. Game 2 of the series. We head to the second. against the young right-hander Randall Delgado.
Actually, just playing in Double-A compared to playing in the big leagues, there's not a great deal of difference. Once you advance out of A-ball and get into Double-A, that channel's getting very narrow. The funnel's getting narrow to the big leagues, and you're playing against some very good competition in Double-A. And I would say that for Horace again, who asked that question, the difference primarily is refining your own skills and knowing how people make adjustments. You've got to continue to make adjustments too once you realize that you're capable of pitching at those levels.
Aubrey Huff bats for the Giants in the second. How big an adjustment is it, though, when you come to a stadium like this? You see the third tier. You see 35, 40,000 people pitching instead of 3,000 or 4,000 at Double-A or Triple-A.
There's definitely that. Boy, that was a good curveball. There's definitely that because of the pressure you put on yourself to perform in front of such big crowds, and certainly at the highest level there is. But once you realize, and you have people in your ear all the time saying, it's the same game. It's the same game you've been playing all your life. It's just a bigger stage. And if you can handle the stage, you'll be okay.
I think of that great scene from Hoosiers with Gene Hackman and the tape measure.
Yeah. Same game you've been playing. Just a little different environment.
Diving play at first, and Freddie Freeman spears it. 1 out.
Saved a double. Crossover step. Good reach, long arms, nice play. Quite a player.
Blow it inside to Brandon Belt.
Good changeup. Turned that over, down and away from him. Randall likes to work fast too. Just missed. Boy, that was close.
3 balls and a strike. Interesting story on Belt. Pardon me, Joe.
Go ahead.
Drafted twice before the Giants took him. The Braves drafted him in the 11th round in 2007. Didn't sign. Red Sox took him as a pitcher. Went to junior college, and then San Francisco picked him in the 5th round in 09. And he'll have a seat. That was nasty. First strikeout for Delgado.
Got called out on the swing too by Sam Holbrook, who said he went. That was a good pitch too. But the pitch before, 2 pitches before, it looked like a pretty good pitch and didn't get the call. And I would say that if it's going to be a tight zone tonight, and Holbrook didn't give Sanchez the benefit of the doubt on the walk to Bourne, I would say the advantage lies with Randall Delgado. He's got better command already than Sanchez.
5 up, 5 down as Cabrera bats. Cabrera's been around a long time, and he's played on a lot of playoff teams. Giants are hoping he can help them get back to postseason play, but they've got an uphill climb. 5 behind the Braves in the wild card, 2.5 back of Arizona out west.
Wow. Looking good. 95 then 94, both of them on the corner.
Oh, that's just foul at third, and Cabrera thought he had an extra base hit.
There's another difference between Double-A and the big leagues. You burn the outside corner with 2 good fastballs. You think you've got somebody set up inside, and you run the ball in on a veteran hitter who just turns on it and yanks it almost fair down the line. Not too many guys in Double-A can do that.
That pitch at 97.
He's got a pretty short arm action too. It's not like he's a big wind-up.
In the air to center, and Michael Bourne is there. 6 up, 6 down. No score, second inning.
Satisfaction nationwide for 6 straight years. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn. Live large, pay less.
Scoreless game. We head to the Braves half of the second inning. After the Giants leave town, the Arizona Diamondbacks will come a-calling. Good tickets available for the weekend series. Arizona, as we mentioned, has a 2.5 game lead in the National League West. Braves.com is the place to get your tickets, or by phone it's 800-745-3000. Dan Uggla, Freddie Freeman, and Chipper Jones coming up against Jonathan Sanchez.
Got a shin guard on tonight. First time all year he's had to wear something.
Popped back foul. We'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Got a piece of that because Sanchez really telegraphed that changeup. He's not a whole lot unlike Bumgarner that pitched last night. He can sink it, he can cut it.
Back to the mound. 1 out.
His fastball is usually around 91 or 92 at the top end, if that. But you know, he won 13 games for him last year, and as I said, pitched a great game in Game 3 of the division series. That was the most strikeouts by a left-handed pitcher in the postseason for the Giants since 1900. 11 strikeouts and only 1 walk in 7 1/3 innings.
Well, last night's hero would like to give the Braves an early lead. And He bats in front of Chipper Jones, batting 6th for the Braves, and our Delta Airlines on deck batter.
Pretty good numbers there from the old guy, huh? He's 12 games back from the DL.
Maybe a subtle thing to say, but Freddie Freeman's not a rookie anymore. He's a first-year player now. And that at bat against Brian Wilson last night was anything but a rookie at bat.
Yeah, it was big league all the way. The thing that impressed me the most was that early in the bat, there was a fastball from Brian Wilson where Freddie kind of dived in and kind of tied himself up and jammed himself, and he fouled the ball off to the left. And he really didn't see another good fastball until the base hit. But he didn't dive. He stayed upright and took the barrel to the ball and banged it through the middle. So even within that at bat, he had made a bit of a correction. The one he fouled off was at 97, so he knew he had to do something to liven it up.
That ball bounced out to short. Cabrera smothered it. And Freeman's retired for the second out. Here is Chipper Jones with bases empty.
Those walk-off hits are always exciting and a lot of fun to watch. And anymore, the celebrations are beginning to get fun to watch too for Atlanta, because there's a lot of jumping around, dirt thrown on the head, water flying everywhere. But all the veterans like Chipper and Hinske, they're just kind of around on the outside, patting people on the back like, yeah, okay, love you, okay, I'll see you in a couple weeks. Because there is the chance you get stomped on, elbowed in the head, something in the youthful exuberance.
Well, you remember the walk-off hit that David Ross had. Eric Hinske was pulling guys off of David Ross. Hey, we can't get this guy hurt.
Yeah, right. McCann's on the DL.
So Chipper Jones batting 6th tonight. It's been a long time since he's batted in this spot in the Braves batting order. And he'll roll to short. Cabrera's got it. And the throw to first in time retires the Braves in the second. Lower third coming up for the Giants. He will put those Oracle skills to work right now because it's trivia time. The AT&T Uverse trivia question is, name the last San Francisco Giant with 200 hits in a single season.
Tito Fuentes.
I like it.
No?
I guessed Willie McCovey before I even knew what the question was. So, we'll see if we're right. Here's Miguel Tejada. He say it half tongue-in-cheek, you might add up all the hits of this starting 8 for the Giants. It may not add up to 200. That's a real problem for San Francisco as Tejada pops one to straightaway center. Joe, the Giants are averaging less than 3.5 runs a game, and they're on pace to score about 520 runs for the whole year.
Came in last night into this series next to the bottom in runs scored. Only the Mariners had scored fewer. And you can see in their average per game, last 14th in the National League out of 16 teams in average, last in on base, and 12th in home runs. Now the home runs not such an issue because they play in a big ballpark. You wouldn't really be concerned with that if they're manufacturing and scoring runs otherwise. But they are really hurting. And then today having to put Beltran on the deal didn't help either.
Chris Stewart to straightaway left. Well, to put it in perspective, 73 of the Giants' 122 games have seen them score 3 runs or less.
Well, I think last night we were talking about Bumgarner and the fact that he didn't get much run support. Out of his first 24 starts, he had 8 where he got no runs to work with. A third of his starts, no runs.
Good cut by Jonathan Sanchez, and this guy can swing the bat.
Yeah, good hitter. 6 for 28 on the year with 4 doubles.
And 1 ball, 1 strike. This is Delgado's second big league start. You wouldn't know it the way he's gone through the first 8 Giants hitters tonight. I mean, he is painting, folks.
Looks sharp, doesn't he?
Wow.
He's getting a lot of help from Brian McCann calling some good pitches. 8 pitches in the inning.
And he's retired the first 9 in order in a scoreless game. Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. Zeros across after 2.5. And the bottom of the Braves order is coming up for the first time. And Alex Gonzalez, Jose Constanza, and Randall Delgado will take their first looks at Jonathan Sanchez. He have a 4-7 record.
Good change up there. And after a leadoff walk, he started throwing more strikes.
Driven down the left field line. And high off the fence, but foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I mean to tell you, Alex and Dan Uggla were in the same hitting group today, and they put on a show. They were providing plenty of souvenirs for the folks in left field, and Dan Uggla was providing some souvenirs to the terrace level in the lower bowl, just missing going into the club level.
Took another shot at left, did Alex. And Cody Ross in left center makes the play for the first out. Base is clear for Jose Constanza. He's the subject of our SunTrust solid performance.
Tearing it up. Lefties, righties, really doesn't matter. But how about being 10 for 19 against left-handed pitchers? 3 for 3 in last night's game. He's bumped his overall average up to 414. Amazing stuff. And fun to watch. Everybody really happy for him.
There's the bunt. And nobody got to the first base bag in time. Maybe the foot of Sandoval. Certainly some confusion with Fontenot. And there's that speed demon we talked about.
Fontenot had too far to go. And when the Kung Fu Panda came charging in and then had to stop on that bad foot, he wasn't nimble enough to get back to the bag. And even on a poor bunt, he gets a base hit.
What a weapon that kind of speed is. So that's the first base hit of the ball game. Now Delgado bats. Remember, you have an inexperienced first baseman in Sandoval at first. That might pay dividends if Delgado lays down a bunt successfully. Beautiful bunt. And Sanchez recovers to retire Delgado. Constanza at second with 2 outs.
Nice bunt. And you're right, this was a good recovery by Jonathan Sanchez, who slipped as he was picking it up. He didn't slip, he almost rolled his left ankle trying to plant his foot. Speaking of baby giraffes.
Here's Michael. Thorne walked and was thrown out trying to steal second in the Braves half of the first. Uh-oh. Sanchez might have turned his ankle. Sanchez slipped when he tried to field that bunt, and he might be hurting.
It's his push-off foot. When I said he slipped, I thought he did, but he did roll his ankle a little bit when he picked that bunt up. Watch as he goes over to field this with his left foot right there. Just rolled over it just a little bit, then went into a hurdler stretch, and then here's the next pitch. And it could have been trying to push off, just didn't have anything there. You're right, Chip. He's out. This is not. I mean, last night the Giants were scared to death. They didn't want to lose the game, but they were worried that it might go into extra innings if the Braves tied it up, and they're really shorthanded in the bullpen. They got Dantzler called up today to put Romo on the DL, or excuse me, Runzler, but their bullpen's really been used up lately. innings, was fielding the bunt, and oh boy.
Then he rolled over the top, making the hurdler stretch in the throw over to first base. So the hits just keep coming for Bruce Bochy and the San Francisco Giants. Jonathan Sanchez leaves the third inning with injury. Braves have a runner at second and 2 outs, and we'll tell you who the new Giants pitcher will be right after this. By Academy Sports and Outdoors and by Georgia Power. Scoreless game in the bottom of the third inning. Braves threatening with 2 outs. Jose Constanza at second. Michael Bourne in the batter's box. And Jonathan Sanchez out with injury. The Braves Family Field Day presented by Publix Supermarkets is this Saturday here at Turner Field. Get batting, fielding, and pitching tips from Braves players, plus lunch and a behind-the-scenes tour of Turner Field. Visit Braves.com/Field Day or call 404-494-1020 today.
Guillermo Mota gets the call to come in relief of Sanchez after the injury. Mota has worked a little bit of long relief this year. Most recently, his longest outing was 2 innings. That's over his last 5. But his longest relief outing of the year was 4+ innings. 38 years old. Seems like he's been around forever. And a huge guy, 6'6", 240, out of San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic.
How ironic, a man that big whose name spelled backwards spells Adam. He'll have as much time as he needs to loosen up. And this is a very important series, obviously, for both the Braves and the Giants. San Francisco trying to stay within shouting distance of the wild card. But, I mean, they are dropping a player or two a day, and that's very, very difficult to overcome, especially when this is their last chance head-to-head with the team directly in front of them in that wild card chase.
All the more reason for the Braves to really get after them. Atlanta has won every meeting so far this year. The Braves are 4-0 against the Giants after sweeping them out in San Francisco in April. And going back to last year, Atlanta has won 6 straight regular season games against San Francisco. Keppinger on the left, DeRosa on the right. Neither one in the lineup tonight. Keppinger dinged up after the collision last night, and DeRosa still trying to come back from that wrist injury.
So Mota inherits a 1-ball, no strike count to Michael Bourne. Big lead out at second for Jose Constanza.
Change up and a backdoor slider. Not a bad way to start. Especially when you throw them for strikes. Mota was in 56 games for them last year.
Up the middle. Base hit. Constanza around third. Ross loads up. Throw to the plate. Cut off. Bourne in a rundown between first and second. Now Fontenot. Cabrera. Catcher. Bourne still in the rundown. And finally tagged out at first.
He is completely out of gas. And listen to the crowd.
Get some oxygen, Michael. You've given the Braves a 1-0 lead heading to the fourth.
All down. This out went 8, 3, 4, 6, 2. Catcher did a heads up play, getting down there to help out. Back to 4. Back to 6. 8, 3, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. And some refreshments from the bench.
And a 1-0 lead now for Delgado, who's retired the first 9 he's faced in the game. Cody Ross starts it off.
What a good beginning to this game for Randall Delgado.
Another fly ball. Sure enough, guess who it's hit to?
At least he didn't have to run it down. Only one ground ball out so far. He struck out a couple of guys, and the only ground ball was a little comebacker to him from Fontenot.
So let's see what adjustments the Giants try to make after the first 10 have been retired as Delgado goes through their lineup for a second time. Use the term poise or presence. What are your tip-offs for those terms in this game?
Well, I like what Brian's doing. He's making him use all his pitches, and they're all effective tonight, so there's not any one pitch they can sit on. They've got to respect the fastball that's been as high as 97 tonight, but sitting around 94, 95. They've got to respect that, and then he's mixed in a nice changeup and a couple of real good breaking balls. was a changeup, and that was at 84. His location on that's been outstanding to lefties. It's been down and away. Hensley Mulin's the hitting coach on the right, talking it over with Huff. Perhaps about a different approach here after going through the first time.
Well, in his major league debut, June 17th, Delgado went 4 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. He's 1 out into his 4th inning, and the Giants don't have a base runner yet. And as Joe mentioned earlier, he's coming off 2 outstanding starts at AAA, during which he didn't allow a run in those games.
13 innings, 6 hits, no runs, 5 walks, 15 strikeouts in those 2 starts.
And he walks Fontenot with 1 out. So he'll go to the stretch for the first time. And here's Sandoval, the Giants' first baseman. I think it's safe to say Sandoval's never going to win the Mr. Universe pageant. As far as having a great physique. But he's worked awfully hard in the offseason to get in better baseball shape, and the numbers really show that. Sandoval hitting over 300, 14 home runs this year.
He's down 30 pounds from last year.
In 2009, he hit 330, slumped to 268 last season. So his average and his weight going in the right directions from the Giants' perspective.
He's sure a crowd favorite in San Francisco. They love him.
Sharply hit. Ugla, what a play. Alex jumps and throws and doubles him up.
This one, I think he can't do anything more to surprise me.
Wow, Ugla looked like Gonzalez on that play. Infield defense turning in a spectacular 4th inning ending double play that helps preserve a 1-0 Braves advantage as we enjoy our Blimpie game summary.
Biggest thing about that summary is that Jonathan Sanchez had to leave after rolling his ankle trying to field that bunt. But how about this double play? Alex, just amazing. Throwing that ball while in midair and throwing it accurately and dodging the runner. What a play.
Braves up a run. Part of the order coming up. How many times have we said it? When your pitcher works quickly, works effectively, your defense behind you usually on its toes. It was. Now Cabrera at short for the first out.
Yeah, as terrific as the turn was, as spectacular as it was by Alex, that was a heck of a play by Dan Uggla to get it started.
Took a page out of Alex's fielding Bible, didn't he?
Yeah.
No strikes.
Pretty much straight up for the Giants defensively on McCann. Cabrera, the shortstop's cheated up the middle a little bit. Maybe Fontenot's a little to his left toward the hole, but no overshift. Bruce Bochy and Dave Righetti, the manager and pitching coach respectively, and good ones for the Giants.
Brian McCann has his first base hit of the game. And that's the third of the night for the Braves. Brian 1 for 2 tonight. I know you and Tommy talked about this last night. You cannot help but have a great deal of respect for Bruce Bochy and the San Francisco Giants for what they did when that playoff series ended last night. And to me, that's what's last year, I beg your pardon. That's what makes this series head-to-head so great. It's a rivalry not based on mutual dislike, but I think mutual admiration.
Well, I know Bruce Bochy admired Bobby Cox for years. And last year when the series ended and essentially the season for the Braves, the Giants stopped their celebration and honored him as well. And that was such a classy act. And one that wasn't wasted on Bobby. He was really touched by it.
Have you ever seen that before in baseball?
No, I haven't. I've seen other teams, stand or stop a game and applaud a big event like Jim Thome's home run last night, but not something like that at the end of the season.
And I would get it if it was the manager and his staff that did it, but that the Giants players who only knew Bobby Cox from afar would stop and do it too, I thought was really, really touching.
Yeah, that was a pretty special showing.
One and two the count to Dan Uggla with McCann at first. And Mota takes care of Uggla for the second out.
Looked like a splitter. He's got a good sinker. He throws hard. His fastball still in the 92, 93 range. And a split that caused Dan to chase.
Now Freeman bats with a man aboard, 2 outs. Only 39 games left after tonight's play.
Braves are only one game off where they were last year. Coming into the game tonight, they're 71-51. Same time last year, they were 72-50.
And remarkable that that's the case considering how much injury Freddie Gonzalez has had to deal with this year. And McCann was picked off first.
Broke too soon. He thought he had picked the right time to get an early jump, but guessed wrong.
So we head to the 5th inning. The Braves still maintain a 1-0 lead with the middle of the Giants' order 2 up. And back to our AT&T Uverse trivia question. The Oracle is still pondering.
Didn't Bill Madlock played for them? I'm gonna go Madlock because I think he did and won a title with them.
All right, I'm going to say Brett Butler, the former Brave.
That's a good call.
Played for the Giants, leadoff guy. It's only a wild guess.
Darn it. We went too far.
Yep.
Not that we ever do. Very careful about that.
Richie Aurelia had a good career with the Giants. Aubrey Huff drives one toward left. Corrado is there. Lots of fly ball outs in a big ballpark for Randall Delgado tonight.
Their all-time hits leader for 1 year is Bill Terry, 254th Hall of Famer. In fact, he's first, fourth, and fifth on their list.
Is Mel Ott on any of those lists?
Not on hits. No, he's not. Not for 1 year, at least not through number 25, which is Bobby Bonds. That year for Rich Aurelia made him 16th. And the highest Willie Mays is on this list is 15th.
Really?
At 208 hits.
Wow. Belt hits one in the air to right. Stanza broke back, uses his speed to gain ground. And another fly out for the second out of the Giants' 5th inning. I don't remember watching Willie Mays play as a kid. You know, back in those days, you had the game of the week. You didn't get baseball on television every night. He's certainly on the list of players that I wish I could have seen and admired and understood how good he was.
Me too. Me too. How great would it have been to live in New York in those days when you could watch Mays, Mantle, and Duke Snider play on any given day.
How about being able to listen to the games if you couldn't go in person? Think of the voices that brought baseball to fans in the Big Apple. Ed Scully, Red Barber, Russ Hodges, Mel Allen. Wow. Pop up right side, and into the Braves dugout. 2 balls and a strike to Orlando Cabrera. Jones at third. He's got it. 3 more up, 3 more down for Delgado. He's through 5. That was an 8-pitch inning. Man of the game is enjoying Randall Delgado's second big league start.
Check him out. He's got a couple of favorite players. He's got 26 over there in the red for Dan Ugla, and in the blue he's got 46 for Craig Kimbrell. All right. Great night to be out at the Chop House, wouldn't you say?
So here we go to the 5th. Freeman, Chipper Jones, and Alex Gonzalez. Guillermo Mota on to pitch. He came on in the 3rd inning. Jonathan Sanchez, the Giants starter, went 2 innings and 2/3 before spraining an ankle. He fielded a bunt, rolled over the left ankle, tried to pitch to Michael Bourne, and after delivering that pitch, limped to the base of the mound and then walked off the field for San Francisco. Another big blow to the Giants' final 6 weeks of playoff hopeful baseball. I told you earlier they put Sergio Romo and they put Carlos Beltran on the disabled list today. Remember, they got Carlos Beltran right at the trade deadline to try to help this anemic offense, but he's got a bad wrist
and to try to help out in their shortage in the outfield.
Freddie hits one a mile high into left field. And Huff battles it just a bit, but makes the play for the first out. Base is clear as we look at tonight's Jamison in upcoming schedule.
Good matchup tomorrow. Matt Cain for the Giants. He's 9-9, and Jair Jurgens comes back from the disabled list after resting his knee that had been bothering him. And then Thursday, Tim Lincecum against Mike Minor. That game will be on Sports South for you. Lincecum's gotten back on track. He's up to 11-9 now after kind of middling work in the early part of the season.
Chipper rips the first pitch toward third, but a nice play by Tejada to knock it down and keep it close.
Guy who's more comfortable playing shortstop. He's out of position at third base from what you're accustomed to seeing, but he made a nice play there. He's just back from the DL. He had a lower abdominal strain that knocked him out. Speaking of that, I saw Nate McLeod in the dugout, in the clubhouse rather, and he feels much better after his surgery to repair his what's called a sports hernia injury these days. Good to see Nate.
A strike to Alex. And he pops one up. Fontenot, you hear him yelling and calling off Pablo Sandoval, and Mota works a perfect bottom of the fifth. Donalds, and by Toyota. Raised by a run as we head to the sixth inning. Tejada, Stewart, and Mota coming up against Randall Delgado. Already a new career high in the major leagues for innings pitched. He's through 5 tonight.
Really looks sharp. And whatever Brian McCann puts down, he throws.
Well, you can't help but think that first big league start is going to help Delgado in this one and down the road. That's out of the way. Now he's back, trying to pitch well enough to perhaps stay in rotation, and Freddie talked about that in the newspapers today, maybe tinkering with the idea of going with a 6-man rotation for a short period of time. Braves will get Jurgens back tomorrow. Chance to maybe buy some extra rest for guys like Derek Lowe and Tim Hudson.
Tommy addressed that last night, the pros and cons of that, and certainly this time of the year guys will welcome a little bit of extra rest, but he said for the veteran pitchers like Hudson and Lowe, you know, they're so set in their ways in terms of their workouts between starts that it may be something they have to adjust to.
That ball in the dirt, and Tejada missed it by a foot. That's the third strikeout for Randall tonight, and one away.
Hard slider. And you're right. right. He didn't come close. Remember, he just came back from the disabled list too, Tejada, so his timing's off. And some 93 and 95 mile an hour fastballs before that set it all up.
Here's Chris Stewart. He flying out to left.
Also made a great throw to catch Bourne trying to steal. Very impressive work so far for Randall Delgado. Again, just 21 years old.
Into the seats. Ball into the glove of McCann. 2 outs.
It's like that lady took one in the elbow. That was the worst of the injuries. Oh. Good. Looks like everybody else ducked.
Guillermo Mota, the batter. And a comebacker. Might want to call some friends, folks. Delgado's got a special game working through 6, and he leads 1-0. Game summary.
Gotta like what you see there. Randall Delgado, 6 innings of great baseball, just a walk to spoil things so far. 4 strikeouts. Constanza and Bourne have done their thing, both creating a run, the only run of the ball game back in the 3rd inning. And Jonathan Sanchez, more bad news for the Giants, sprained his ankle trying to field a bunt attempt in the 3rd inning and had to come out of the ball game. But the run charged to him, so he's on the hook right now for the loss if the score holds up.
Yeah, a little more insurance would be nice. As the speed demon, Jose Constanza will start it off. It was his bunt that led to all that third inning excitement. Then Delgado, then Michael Bourne. Delgado's pitched a beautiful game. He has struck out 4 through 6 innings. And 1 giant base runner. That was a Fontenot walk in the 4th. That was erased on a spectacular double play turned in by Dan Uggla, Alex Gonzalez, and Freddie Freeman.
One of the prettier ones of the year. Giants have lost 12 out of their last 17 ball games, and things aren't looking any better with all the injuries, and not just to the guys on the disabled list, but the guys that are still active in the dugout too, that have aches and pains. See, this is what you like if you're Jose Constanza. They know that you can bunt. So look how close Tejada's playing at third base and Sandoval at first. That cuts down on their range so much. Even Fontenot is shortened up at second.
Look how quickly he unloads, even charging and playing halfway at second base.
Yeah, well, that worked to his benefit that time. If he's playing back in normal depth, he probably doesn't get him.
So Randall bats with the bases clear and 1 out. He laid down the sacrifice that Sanchez fielded and turned his ankle. He takes a healthy cut. He's down on strikes. Mota has his second.
That's something that would be approved of wholeheartedly by Don Sutton. Don's always talked about how when you're pitching, especially late in the season, and you got to consider that he's pitched a full year in AA and AAA, that when you got a good game going and you're mowing them down, don't spend a lot of time up there, especially in non-run producing situations. Take your swings, go sit down and get your rest and get ready for the next inning.
Michael bats. And takes a called strike. Bourne has the game's lone RBI. That was a third inning single. That brought home Constanza. And then Michael was in the 8-3-4-6-2-4-6 rundown.
Which we all agreed that when Brian McCann got picked off, he didn't want to show Michael up and have anything that extended past Michael, so he just went ahead and let him tag him.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Wow, a little quick pitch there from Guillermo Mota. How about that? He didn't even come to a full set like he's been working out of the stretch. He just started up like he was going to stretch and then went right into his windup. Went right into his pitch, rather. A quick pitch. Thought he might catch Michael Mappin. He didn't.
Another line drive foul ball into the club level. And count full, 3-2. Nine-pitch at bat. Bourne's aboard for the third time in this game. And that brings Martin Prado up with 2 outs.
Fouled off a couple of borderline pitches that might have been called strikes. He couldn't risk taking them. Fought them off and then drew the walk. They did have some activity in their bullpen last inning. In case Stewart reached, they may have pinch hit for Mota. Now they may want to know if you've got anything left in the tank to finish this inning up as Jeremy Affeldt begins to loosen up. Giants are not finished with this road trip. Once they leave Atlanta, they've got to stop in Houston on the way home. And with the injury to Sanchez, his next turn will come up in Houston. They're going to have to evaluate whether his ankle is so severe they need to DL him or bring someone else up from Fresno.
Martinez 0 for 2. And 3 for 21 on the homestand so far. Outfield backs up. At least they do in left and center. As Bourne measures off his lead from first. High fly ball right center field. Belt going back is there, and that retires the side. Bourne walks, is left stranded in the bottom of the 6th inning. Top of San Francisco's order comes up, down 1-0.
Has used all his pitches. He got a brilliant defensive play turned behind him for a double play, but he's just been around the plate with everything. His fastball, his changeup, his slider, his curveball. He has fanned 4. He walked a batter back in the 4th inning, but as you saw, that runner was wiped out in the double play. Just tremendous. And again, he's coming off 2 starts at Gwinnett where he did not give up any runs in 13 innings in those 2 starts and only 6 hits.
Now he faces the Giants trio of Ross, Fontenot, and Sandoval. And he faces them for the 3rd time tonight.
had some life on his fastball too. It's not straight. He's got some good movement. Most of the time running in on right-handers here like that. Only had three ball counts tonight.
And there's the fourth, and it's 3-0.
May have overthrown that one just a little bit.
High fly ball belted, and Ross knew it. Wow. Little Dante Bichette action at the plate for Cody Ross after he touched off a solo home run. He posed, hopped, and then made the sprint around the bases as our game is tied.
I don't blame him for being excited about hitting one that far. But this little crow hop he took, I'm not sure how well that'll be received. That baby was cranked. Just missed getting into the second deck.
So the first base hit of the game for the Giants is a homer. And Randall Delgado gets a standing O. Youngsters sitting on the Braves bench. Jurgens on the left, Delgado on the right after 6 innings of great baseball this evening.
And the AT&T call to the bullpen goes to Eric O'Flaherty, and actually Freddie Gonzalez had him warming up before the inning started. Any sign of trouble for Delgado, there was going to be a change, and it was quick trouble.
Mike Fontenot tries to bunt and does so foul. Mike is 0 for 1 with a walk.
Again, you don't see many balls hit to left field up there above that exit in straightaway left.
And he wasn't afraid to dress up the power, was he? After he hit the ball, that little dance at the plate.
Yeah, and he's a good guy, well respected player, likable guy, real good teammate, I'm told. That was a little excessive, I thought. That little we're off to see the wizard dance.
So the game tied at 1. And a 1-2 count to Mike Fontenot. know another Giant that's missed a lot of time with injury. 41 games he's missed with a right groin strain. And has 4 hits in his last 37 at bats after striking out here in the 7th inning.
High fastball above his hands, couldn't catch up to it.
So Sandoval will turn around and bat right-handed now. He's the man that hit into the 4-6-3 double play that ended the 4th inning tonight. Pablo's hit safely in 10 of his last 13 games. Bad hop. Chipper played it to the side and throws him out.
He didn't want to play it to the side. Again, that goes back to keeping your glove down and then come up. If the ball comes up, it's a lot easier and a lot quicker to raise your hand up to handle a bad hop than it is to have your glove up high and then try to go down if the ball hugs the ground. Good play.
Here's Huff. Aubrey's 0 for 2. Freddie Freeman robbed him of an extra base hit, leading off the 2nd inning. Tale of 2 years for Aubrey against left-handed pitching. Had 26 hits in his first 73 at-bats against lefties to start the year. Since late June, 7 for his last 41 against southpaw pitchers. Now it's 7 for 42. O'Flaherty strikes out 2 of the first 3 he faces. The Giants tie the game on a Ross homer. 1-1 as we stretch in Atlanta. One game. Cody Ross just homered. And here is tonight's Zaxby's indescribably good play.
And it is indescribable. Great play by Ugla on one end. You think, great, you get the lead runner, and Alex Gonzalez just turns in a spectacular leaping throw in midair to complete the double play. Brilliant.
He's had so many highlight reel plays in his career. I wonder where that one will rank in his top 10, if it even makes the cut. Hard to imagine there could be one better than that.
It's a beauty.
So here in the 7th, Jeremy Affeldt checks in to pitch for San Francisco with Brian McCann to lead it off.
Braves saw him for 2 games out in San Francisco, and they touched him for 3 runs total in those 2 games. But since the All-Star break, he's been at his best this year. He's only given up 1 earned run in 14 innings since the All-Star break.
Freeman, then Chipper in the Atlanta 7th.
Affeldt in consecutive years with Colorado, Cincinnati, and the Giants. 07 to 09 was in 75, 74, and 74 games. Last year it kind of caught up to him, and his numbers suffered. Last year 4-3 with a 4.14 ERA and only in 53 games.
That one way inside, and a good start for the Braves. A leadoff walk in a tie game in the 7th.
Well, they got what they needed from Guillermo Mota. They had to have innings from him, given the injury to Sanchez and the condition their bullpen is in. And boy, Mota stepped up. 3 1/3 innings, a 1-hit shutout ball. Outstanding work.
Sanchez left with a turned ankle. Randall Delgado, starter for the Braves, went 6 innings, allowing 1 hit and 1 run. Now Atlanta tries to give Eric O'Flaherty the lead, with Dan Uggla up 0 for 2 in the game. And he had a healthy cut.
Last year, you know how close the division series was. 3 one-run losses by the Braves to San Francisco, and Braves came from behind to win last night. How about this? Since the Braves moved to Atlanta, the all-time Atlanta San Francisco series stands at 314 to 311 in favor of the Giants.
Fans might not remember, especially young ones. Back in those days, you played each other more than 6 or 7 times a season. The Braves were in the National League Western Division way back then.
That made a lot of sense, didn't it?
Yeah. Made for some fun road trips, though, that's for sure. The Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres, the Braves, the Reds, and Houston. Kind of missed those days where you saw a team more than 2 series a year from outside of the division.
Another 3-ball count already for Affeldt. 2 in a row. Sinker slider guy. Would love to get a ground ball here.
And fought it off. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Popped down the right field line. Belt near the stands makes the play.
Tell you what, he's made a couple of good plays tonight, and that was one of them. He also had to range back into pretty deep right field to haul one in from Martin Prado last inning, too.
Already hitting .250 against lefty pitchers this year. As Joe mentioned, Affeldt has been very tough overall. Lefties 2 for their last 40 against the Giants pitcher at the plate. Slowly hit up the middle. Fontenot flips to second for one. Cabrera the turn. And that's a Giants double play. Very deftly turned up the middle by San Francisco. And this game goes to the 8th. Still tied 1-1. Braves. And partner pitching has been the story tonight, and more of it coming out of the Braves bullpen in this tie game.
The next AT&T call to the bullpen goes to Johnny Venners. O'Flaherty worked a 1-2-3 7th inning for him after the home run by Cody Ross. He had a couple of strikeouts, but Johnny Venners on for his 66th game. He's 6-1 with a 1.18 ERA, and he and Craig Kimbrell have a pretty good shutout streak working themselves. Longest in the National League combined.
And earlier this year, some fans were trying to think of a clever way of describing the Braves setup duo. I should say the 8th and 9th inning duo of Venters and Kimbrell. And someone thought a clever way of describing it would be sit down and shut up.
Yeah, I like that one.
It is Brandon Belt starting it off for the Giants. He's 0 for 2 tonight.
He fouls one off his foot.
And the Giants going through one of those stretches that many teams seem to have at some point during every season. When your trainer is your MVP for the week, it's a rough time.
That's not a good sign.
Three balls and a strike. And Johnny rallies to strike out Belt. And his scoreless run continues, as you see on our Sunshine House leaderboard.
Kimbrell's is at 26 2/3. Venners now at 18 innings. And the next closest Cliff Lee of Philadelphia, Kenley Jansen of the Dodgers. I'm not sure that. I think Lee's supposed to pitch tomorrow night against Arizona.
Holiday's going tonight and winning 2-1. That game's in the 7th at Citizens Bank. Let's see who is going for the Phillies tomorrow. First the play from the mound, Venters. Cabrera's retired. There it is, Joe Saunders and Cliff Lee tomorrow night.
How about Milwaukee? Anybody been paying attention to the Brewers? They've won 17 of their last 19 games. Started play tonight with a 6-game lead over St. Louis. And they are 45-15 at home.
Yeah, that's the other weird thing about the schedule this year. We didn't see the Cubs until very late in the year. 2 series in 2.5 weeks. We saw Milwaukee early in the season with 2 series in about 2.5 weeks.
Right.
And a ground ball by Tejada through the right side. Only the second hit for San Francisco in this game, and it comes with 2 outs.
I remember thinking that when the Braves swept Milwaukee in a 4-game series here at Turner Field, that was good work against what everybody thought would be a good ball club as the season went on. But I kept thinking, no, both of these teams, the Brewers and the Braves, chances are really good that they're going to have a whole different look by the time we get to September. And sure enough.
At that point, Zach Greinke was not pitching for Milwaukee.
He had just come back.
And obviously they added K-Rod to their bullpen to set up John Axford. That's a very effective combo. Wouldn't it be something if this year the Braves met the Milwaukee Brewers in playoff competition? What with the loving memory of our dearly departed colleague Ernie Johnson fresh in our hearts and minds tonight. Balls and a strike to Chris Stewart.
When I was talking earlier about the Braves only 1 game off their record from a year ago, right now as it stands, if they played 500 ball the rest of the year, that'd be 91 wins. And you ask yourself, first of all, is 91 wins enough to get in the postseason? And I'm not 100% certain it is, but I'm also very confident that the Braves will play well over 500, and that number will be higher anyway.
Well, with a 5-game lead in the wild card, if the Braves play 500, that means somebody else is going to have to play about 70%. Don't know if the Giants or Cardinals can do that to catch the Braves. As Chris Stewart shoots a ball into left field, and San Francisco threatening now with 2 on and 2 out. And Aaron Rowand has grabbed a bat. Joe mentioned the abdominal problem he's suffering through. Let's see how effectively Venters can attack that.
You kind of slough off these 2-out rallies until you look back and see some rallies the Cubs put together. I remember a 3-run rally they put together off Mike Minor, 2 out, nobody on. They scored 3 runs. It can happen fast.
And so can damage from Rowand off the bench. He's 8 for 21 with 3 homers as a pinch hitter.
Beltran, the injury to Torres. Why isn't Rowand out there? And then that's when I found out that he had an oblique injury that had been bothering him, that really had just come to the knowledge of a lot of the people around their camp.
Bouncing ball to short. And that'll retire the Giants in the 8th. San Francisco gets a couple of hits. Braves up for their half in a 1-1 game.
He's got an RBI single with 2 out from Michael Bourne to plate Jose Constanza. Then in the 6th inning, well, first of all, some great pitching from Randall Delgado, but in the 7th inning, it was Cody Ross who touched him off. First hit of the game for the Giants, and it was a long home run, his 10th of the year, to tie the game, and that's where we stand 1-1. Really be proud of and like what you saw from Randall Delgado tonight. He was outstanding.
That's also a term you could use to describe the work of Santiago Casilla out of the Giants bullpen. This guy has had himself a spectacular year. 8th lowest ERA among National League relievers, and only 1 run in his last 16 innings, covering 15 games.
Throws hard, has a good slider that's also hard. Been a very effective setup guy for them, and he's going to get more work now with Romo on the shelf with the bad elbow.
Casilla's out of the Dominican Republic. First gloves as a child were homemade out of cardboard. First real glove he received was in a community giveaway donated by former Giant shortstop Jose Uribe. And Chipper will start it off.
Throws hard, hard slider, starts him with a slow breaking ball.
So let the games begin in this 1-1 8th inning affair. High fly to left. Huff tracks it down, 1 out.
very mad at himself last time up when he popped up, chased a bad ball and chased another one there. But again, this guy's tough. Good hard slider.
Fly ball to right. And it's up to Constanza to keep the 8th inning alive for the Braves. 2 outs, bases clear. He's the only Atlantan to score a run tonight. That came in the 3rd.
And he reached on a bunt. That was pretty fun to watch in that it wasn't a great bunt. It was fielded by the pitcher, but it drew Sandoval in. Fontenot was nowhere near the bag to cover in time, and he just walked into first base.
Jose could reach, the pitcher's spot is scheduled next, and Eric Hinsky has grabbed a bat. He'd pinch hit.
One thing we've learned about Jose Constanza is that when he's behind in the count, there's really not a pitch he can't reach. He's trying to guard the plate. Especially anything off the plate away. Seems like he can extend his arms and the bat and cover it.
Requested time. It was granted by Sam Holbrook behind the plate. And the back door finds strike 3. 3 up, 3 down for the Braves in the 8th. We go to the 9th.
It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Braves.
So we go to the 9th. After that splendid reading of the disclaimer.
Thank you very much.
And now the AT&T call to the bullpen. It's Craig Kimbrell time for the top of the Giants batting order.
Showed you that he's got a nice shutout string working. Benner's added to his. Game number 61 for Craig Kimbrell. And just a 172 batting average against him, 92 punch outs in 58 plus innings. Pretty good.
Well, here's the villain tonight, Cody Ross. He picked up the first Giants hit. That led off the 7th inning, and it went a mile to left. A long solo homer. His 10th of the season. And this one popped into left. Always good to retire Ross, who is a gigantic pickup for San Francisco after the deadline last year. Late August, they picked him up on a waiver claim from the Marlins. And he had 5 postseason home runs for them.
MVP in, I think, the NLCS.
But he's out number 1, and here's Fontenot.
Pal Edgar Renteria, I think, was the MVP in the World Series.
We'll check. Not sure off the top of my head. 2 balls, no strikes.
I got confirmation from Ms. Caney.
The Oracle's never wrong, so I don't know why you needed confirmation.
Oh, boy.
Started the night talking about the mound presence of Randall Delgado. I'd say the same thing about this young man. He's not a rookie anymore. He's a first-year player. And on his way to a record-setting season out of the Braves bullpen.
Only his 2nd outing since the 9th, so he's gotten some good rest. And looks fresh tonight. He's popped a 98 in there.
No chance for Prado to get that. Still a full count.
I know Fontenot really put a charge in one last night and hit a home run off Tim Hudson to left center. And maybe even considering that, and Bourne is playing over toward left center. I'm not sure that Prado needs to play him that deep and left, especially with Kimbrel pitching. I have a little hard time getting around on him.
Fontenot out of LSU. Lives in Lafayette. And he'll take a seat.
Eighth strikeout of the night for Braves pitchers. 96 on that running fastball that Fontenot couldn't catch up to.
Now Sandoval bats and is hitless in the game. Not anymore. Braves playing no doubles, and Sandoval with that sore foot settles for a 2-out single.
And this ordinarily might be a time where Bruce Bochy sends out a pinch runner for him. But I'm not sure who they'd put in to play first base or put in the outfield to move Huff to first base.
Told you how banged up the Giants were. Beltran to the disabled list. Shearholtz with a foot problem. Keppinger with a bad wrist. Mark DeRosa also hurting and in the throes of an 0 for 26 slump. We've already seen Rowan pinch hit tonight. The Giants, what you see might be what you get. One ball, one strike to 34-year-old Aubrey Huff. Giants signed him through the 2012 season. Slightly tardy at 96.
Dangerous out though. Late in the ball game. This guy's been around long enough. He can make some adjustments. What a pitch.
No danger. Kimbrel takes care of that. And this game goes to the bottom of the ninth inning. A chance for the Braves to win it in their final at bat of regulation play. For the bottom of the ninth inning, a chance to win it with Eric Hinsky set to go to work first.
Eric had a great at bat last night against Wilson, drawing a walk. Turned out to be the winning run. Excuse me, the tying run.
Braves have been down this road before.
Most last at bat wins in the National League. Had some comeback to it. Eric may have read it as a slider too, that it was coming down and in on him, and it didn't.
And that breaking ball cut on and missed. Eric didn't realize it was dropped. He'll be tagged out, and we head to the top of the order, and Michael Bourne with one away. Braves only have 2 base runners since the 4th inning, and that was also the final inning in which they've had a hit. Braves have 3 in total tonight. Burns had a perfect night, 2 walks and an RBI hit. And now he slaps one down the left field line and just fouled. Joe West had a great look, and Michael missed at least a double by that much.
Oh, my. If there were some chalk on that, it might have kicked up some chalk. Might have still kicked up a little paint. Oh.
One ball, 1 strike.
Divot from the ball that Bourne hit down the line. And again, Michael working the count.
A 1-out walk to one of the fastest runners in the game. 3 walks earned by Bourne tonight, and that represents the winning run.
That brings in 3 Latin infielders to have a word with Mr. Casilla, too. Because that definitely puts a little heat on the defense. Got Bruce Bochy off his seat in the dugout because he's got to be prepared to give a sign to Stewart, the catcher, if he wants a pitch out.
Stewart's already thrown Bourne out once in this game. Prado bats with a big hole right side. And he's buzzed inside. Ball 1.
Martin knows that he's fastballs anytime Michael Bourne's at first base, and he went after the first pitch last time. Hit the ball hard, but not to a gapper down the line. Popped it up a little bit to right. Has not shown a real big lead as yet.
Swing drive. Left field. Drifting back. Oh, what a grab by Huff. Up against the wall, he tracked it down, and Bourne back to first with 2 outs. Wow.
Aubrey Huff has never been known for his defense, no matter where you put him. But Martin Prado tomahawked a good fastball here, and Aubrey made a tremendous play that, at least for the moment, saves the game for the Giants. Outstanding.
So after one mound meeting with the infield, a second one is joined by pitching coach Dave Righetti as the Giants have Brian McCann and Dan Uglas staring at them back to back.
They've already
lived precariously this inning with that slicing line drive by Bourne that could have been an extra base hit. And just then the good defensive play. If he doesn't make that play, Bourne had a good head of steam at second base already. I'm not saying he would have scored, but he certainly would have been at third base. They pitched around McCann last night with the game on the line. Let's see what they do here. Clutch numbers.
Ground ball towards second. And that will retire the Braves in the ninth. Extra innings once again in Atlanta. 1-1 is your score. Great start for Randall Delgado, and his special night ruined by Cody Ross, who hit a long home run for the only Giants tally of the night.
Yeah, we didn't get a tail of the tape on that one, but it had to be at least 450 feet or so. But besides that, he was outstanding. I mean, he had a no-hitter going into that inning before the home run. So, well, what else would you expect from the Braves and Giants, at least in recent games? Anything but a close game would be an oddity.
And tonight it's the Braves' 22nd extra inning game. And Kimbrel taken down for Eric Hinsky a few moments ago. He will now give way to Arodys Vizcaíno, who answers our AT&T call to the bullpen.
And after a little bit of a shaky first outing when he was a little bit nervous, and who wouldn't be, he's been very good. 2 innings against the Cubs on August 12th, gave up a hit, struck out a batter. And then 2/3 of an inning on the 14th against Chicago and struck out 3 batters. 2/3 of an inning, 3 strikeouts. Yeah, that's not an error. He actually did that.
And he got the blown save in that game too because of the wild pitch. So very odd line for Vizcaíno, and I'll bet you the Giants are saying, is there anybody on this Brave staff that doesn't throw 96? They've seen them all tonight.
The answer is no. George Sherrill appreciates me saying no.
Belt, Cabrera, and Tejada for the Giants. San Francisco 10-6 this year in extra innings. The Braves 13 wins, 8 losses.
Extra innings. That's 4.5 games.
Driven down the right field line, foul. And Belt a 2-2 count. Good news in Philadelphia. The Giants have scored 2 in the ninth off Roy, or the Diamondbacks, I beg your pardon, have scored 2 in the ninth off Roy Halladay. And lead that game 3-2 now.
Diamondbacks are pretty good.
He'll be in this weekend. Hope he'll join us at Turner Field. A 3-game series here Friday night. And Vizcaíno issues a leadoff walk. This one starts the Giants' 10th.
No sign of a bunt from Cabrera. A lot of signs from Tim Flannery after that pitch. Goes, and the pitch fouled away by Cabrera. Try to hit and run instead of the bunt.
It there, didn't get the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Definitely had the plate. I'm going to assume that Mr. Holbrook thought that was low. Didn't look low either.
Popped up. Miguel Tejada, the hitter, he poked one through the right side with 2 outs in the 8th inning. It'll have a similar hole in the 10th.
Yeah, you can pretty much expect him at least the first opportunity to try to use that hole and go the other way. They may try another hit and run. Not as quick as it used to be. He was an MVP one year.
was in 2002 with Oakland. 6-time All-Star. And 37 years young for San Francisco. Middle. Alex to the bag and to first. Braves turn their second double play, and we head to the bottom of the 10th. Inning. 22,108 at Turner Field, hoping for some more last at bat magic. Rally caps are on. Don't limit yourself to caps alone. Any rally article of clothing will do tonight. As Hugla, Freeman, and Chipper Jones are coming up for Atlanta.
What a great job by the Giants bullpen tonight. After an injury to the starting pitcher and a bullpen that's really been worn down and a little shorthanded, the combination of Mota, Affeldt, and now Casilla. Mota went 3 in the third, Affeldt an inning, and now Casilla about to start his third inning. They have shut the Braves down. Only one hit allowed by the bullpen since the third inning when they took over.
First pitch. Base hit for Ugla.
For those of you keeping track, that's a 2-game hitting streak for Dan Ugla.
Bruce Bochy on his way out with left-hand hitting Freddie Freeman up. It'll be interesting to see what moves Bruce can make, not only what he will make.
Tejada made the last out, so I think he's coming out of the game. And maybe Sandoval's going to go to third. And yes, there's Mark DeRosa coming into the game to play first.
So Bruce Bochy shuffles his infield. He'll take the ball from Casilla, who did a terrific job in relief. Back for more of this bottom of the 10th inning. Tied 1-1 in Atlanta. Virginia. He's on with a man aboard for the Braves in the 10th inning and nobody out, and Freddie Freeman coming out.
He worked an inning last night, a 1-2-3 inning. The first batter he faced was Freddie Freeman. Got him ground out to Huff at first base. A lot of breaking balls. He's going to drop down, try to get the left-handers to flinch, but that's been difficult to do, to get Freddie Freeman to flinch this year against a lefty. Let's see how the Braves play it with some defensive changes for the Giants.
Rosa and Sandoval at the infield corner spots. First pitch strike to Braves first baseman Freddie Freeman.
Come on, Freddie.
There's some room on this infield for Freddie right now. Runner being held at first, so there's a hole on that side. You see how Cabrera's playing up the middle, and look how far Sandoval is off the line. Keeps throwing that slider away. Freddie's liable to take one the other way.
He hooks this one down the right field line. That'll drop. Ugla, a momentary stumble around second. Throw back to first, and Freeman is out. Ugla's at third with one out.
He got a hanging breaking ball instead and got something he could turn on. Freddie thought about just keeping going to second base, but he didn't want to run into an out, and lo and behold, Belt throws back behind him, and Terry Pendleton thought he got back in there. So did Freddie. But Paul Schreiber called him out.
So it's a single. Freeman out 9-3, but Ugla at third. Chipper in the box, and the Giants will take the bat out of his hands and walk him intentionally.
No one else throwing in their bullpen, so they'll take their chances with Alex Gonzalez. Alex faced him last night and grounded to short. Giants might be hoping more of the same here, and a chance to get a double play ball. And the manager's going to come out for the Giants and make sure that there's no doubt about what he wants done here. Here's that play at first base. The throw back by Belt, and he was out. His foot never got to the bag. I mean, his hand never got to the bag. It was on the foot of Mark DeRosa.
Yeah, he beat the throw, but his hand was in the wrong place.
One of the things that Bruce Bochy might have been saying to Javi Lopez here is that they still have a base open. The only guy that matters is Dan Ugla at third base. So even if you get behind Gonzalez and you don't feel comfortable making a pitch to try to get a strike, if you put him on, it's not that big a deal. Got a left-handed batter on deck. And granted, a tough guy to double up. But that's something that they may have talked about. Let's see how they work to Alex.
Jason Hayward pinch runs at first. He's got to be careful not to get picked off. Strike one.
And the first pitch or two may dictate precisely what they decide to do. Squeeze a possibility.
Remember, you have Pablo Sandoval playing third base now. Remember, Sandoval, bad foot. Don't know how mobile he'll be at the hot corner if indeed a bunt play might be on for the Braves. too.
A little bit of defensive swing there. It's like Alex is trying to put the ball in play, but not his usual aggressive cut. Granted, there were some sinkers, looked like sinkers, maybe some backdoor sliders that he was trying to go after, but didn't really have to early in the count. And now he's got to guard the plate.
In and out of the glove of the Giants catcher. New life.
Stewart thought he had it too. He was trying to show it to Sam Holbrook that he had it. He didn't.
Chopper up the middle. Cabrera jumps himself and throws to first and doubles up Alex Gonzalez. Turnabout is fair play. Cabrera up the middle, and his momentum took him right to the bag and sends this game to the 11th. And some changes for Atlanta defensively. Jose Constanza now takes over for Martin Prado in left. Jason Hayward, who checked into the game a moment ago as a pinch runner, is now in right field. And Martin Prado takes over for Chipper Jones at third base. Second inning for Vizcaíno, who got a double play to end the Giants' 10th. Great chance for the Braves. They had a runner at third and one out, and could not chase home Dan Uggla and end the game. A bunt popped up. And Vizcaíno catches that. Stewart's retired, one down.
Pretty good quickness bouncing off the mound, wouldn't you say? Nice play.
Now Mark DeRosa.
Boy, Mark's had an injury plagued last couple of years. Started when he was with St. Louis in 2009. Had to have some surgery on the wrist, and this left one. Signed as a free agent with the Giants and spent a lot of last year on the DL. Only played in 26 games. And more problems with it this year.
His last base hit was April 16th. Until now. He didn't hit it hard, but he hit it in a perfect spot. And the Giants have the go-ahead run aboard with one out. Delgado took a no-hit bid into the 7th. Ross spoiled that with a mammoth home run, just straight away left field, almost into the second deck.
And moving in, high and in. Some trouble getting his breaking ball over. And when the hitters recognize that, you know what they start sitting on. Let's see what Brian McCann goes to here.
3 balls and a strike. Fastball, and he was early.
Well, he can. We saw what he did to that 95 gas from Delgado, and he just turned on another 95-mile-an-hour fastball and yanked it over the top of the Giants' dugout. He's got a very quick bat.
Runner at first goes, and Ross pops it up. First chance for Jason Hayward in right. And Mike Fontenot, the final hope for the Giants in the 11th.
Keep an eye on DeRosa. They might send him just as a, take a chance, maybe get him into scoring position if he's successful stealing, gets thrown out, and they hold the Braves in the bottom of the inning. You have Fontenot leading off in the 12th.
Fly ball to left. Constanza's there, and this game goes to the bottom of the 11th inning. 2 up for the Braves. Constanza, the pitcher spot, and Michael Bourne.
Singled off Guillermo Mota right after he came in to pitch for Jonathan Sanchez. That plated the Braves' run. That was in the 3rd inning. Braves avoided more trouble with a brilliant double play. Turned in the 4th. Then Cody Ross launched one to break up the no-hitter, shaving the facing of the second deck out there in left field. And just moments ago, with 1st and 3rd and 1 out, a double play hit into by Alex Gonzalez, so we remain tied 1-1, each side with only 5 hits.
Plenty of speed coming up for Atlanta now in the 11th. It starts with Constanza. Brooks Conrad's grabbed a bat. He will hit next. And then the top of the order, and Michael Bourne. Braves can do a lot of things offensively here with some contact. Let's see if Jose can start it off. Earlier, the good work that Jose has done this year against left-handed pitching. He had a base hit off Jonathan Sanchez, the Giants starter, who left with a sprained ankle. There's a bunt single. Broken bat. Bat and ball got to the mound at the same time, and a good job by Lopez to keep his composure and make the play.
Well, he picked his foot up right at the right time. The ball got to him first, but watch this. Picks the foot up, and the bat goes right under it.
Brooks Conrad now pinch hits.
With Delgado called up to pitch tonight, the Braves optioned J.C. Boscan back to AAA, so that shortened their bench. And they now have David Ross left and Julio Lugo. very often that Lopez would come down and in with that breaking ball, mostly away. That was a two-seamer that caught the corner.
Driven down the right field line. Long run belt. That's a fair ball, and that'll bounce into the stands for a double.
He did exactly what he needed to do, and that was, I know that Brooks wants to win the ball game and end it right there. We know that he's capable of that. But the way Lopez is pitching him, he's not going to let him get anything to pull. So Brooks adjusted a little bit, started thinking more up the middle and away, knowing that that's the way Lopez was pitching, and he hit it down the line. Good at bat.
Same advice perhaps for Michael Bourne, with Sandoval creeping in at the third base bag. Winning run at second.
And all the outfielders have to come in. Some defensive changes. Not sure who he was trying to get the attention of to get him to move over a little bit.
Fontenot to his right a couple steps. There he goes. First time he dropped down.
Way down. He went down around Valdosta with that one.
Slow roller. Fontenot at second. Gets Bourne. Conrad to third. 2 outs.
Great pressure on Cabrera last inning to make sure he got that double play turn, knowing the game was going to end if he didn't. And he made a nice play, especially when he had to leap over Jason Hayward. Same thing applies here. You put the ball in play, and certainly Martin robbed already tonight with that drive to left field in the 9th inning. If you put it in play, tremendous pressure on the defense. They have to execute or the game's over.
Ball in the dirt wouldn't be a bad thing either.
Sandoval is playing near the bag to try to hold Brooks a little close. I'm not sure why. Makes the hole a little bigger on the left side for Martin. A left-handed batter on deck too. That may play into the way they pitch Martin.
Base hit, and the Braves win it in 11.
You got to catch him. On the Rosenbach at him. Toyota play the game. Just a beautiful piece of hitting going the other way. Ball game. And now the race is on. The hit was beautiful, but I love the Rosenbach to the head, too. That was pretty good.
Braves win it 2-1. And back with more in a moment.